There are plants growing in ditches right now that used to stop soldiers from bleeding out on battlefields. There are plants in your lawn that heal insect bites faster than anything you can buy at the pharmacy. There are plants your grandmother kept on the windowsill that science has now proven actually work. For thousands of years, people grew these plants and passed the knowledge down. Then we stopped. We swapped gardens for prescriptions and forgot the plants that kept our ancestors healthy. But researchers went back and tested them. What they found is that these plants work, some of them remarkably well. These are 15 medicinal plants people have relied on for generations. Stick around because number 3 on this list performed just as well as prescription antidepressants in major clinical trials, and it grows freely in meadows across Europe. Welcome to the channel. If you have ever felt like nature holds answers that modern life has pushed aside, you are in the right place. Hit subscribe and tell us in the comments which plants you already grow at home. Let us get into it. Number 15. Yarrow. If you have ever seen a low-growing plant with feathery leaves and flat clusters of tiny white flowers along a roadside or meadow, that is yarrow. It grows wild across most of North America and Europe, and it needs almost nothing to thrive. What makes yarrow special is that it speeds up blood clotting. If you get a cut or scrape, crushing fresh yarrow leaves and pressing them onto the wound helps stop bleeding fast. It also fights infection and reduces swelling at the same time. Soldiers carried this plant into battle for 3,000 years for exactly that reason. You can grow it easily in any garden, and it comes back year after year with no fuss. The next plant on this list is just as easy to grow, and it does something similar for your skin that most people have no idea about. Number 14, calendula. You probably know this one already, those bright orange and yellow flowers you see in garden borders everywhere. Most people grow calendula because it looks cheerful. What most people do not know is that it is one of the best natural wound healers you can get your hands on. The petals reduce swelling, help new skin grow faster, and may even reduce scarring. You can make a simple salve from the dried petals mixed with coconut oil and use it on cuts, rashes, dry skin, and minor burns. Calendula grows in poor soil, handles frost, reseeds itself every year, and blooms non-stop from spring to autumn. It is one of the most useful plants you can have in your garden, and barely anyone uses it for what it is actually good at. Now, calendula works wonders on the surface, but the next plant does something deeper that you really need to hear about. Number 13, comfrey. Your grandparents might have called this one knitbone. It earned that name because for centuries, people used it to help heal broken bones and sprains faster. Apply the leaves as a poultice directly over the injured area, and it speeds up how quickly the body repairs the damage. Studies have confirmed it works particularly well for sprains, joint pain, and muscle injuries. One thing to keep in mind, comfrey is for external use only. Do not eat it, and do not make tea from it. When used on the skin, it is excellent. It grows in big, leafy clumps near damp areas and spreads easily once established. Remember the name of the healing compound inside it, allantoin. We will come back to that compound later in a plant that will genuinely surprise you. Number 12, marshmallow. Not the sweet you toast over a fire, but the actual plant it was originally named after. Marshmallow root produces a thick, soothing gel that coats and calms irritated tissue. If you have ever had a persistent dry cough or a raw sore throat, marshmallow root tea is one of the oldest and most effective natural remedies for it. It also helps settle an upset stomach. The plant itself has soft, velvety leaves and pale pink flowers, and it grows well in damp garden soil. Easy to grow, easy to use, and one of the gentlest healing plants you will ever come across. Number 11, white willow bark. This is the tree that aspirin was made from. The bark contains a natural pain reliever that your body converts into the same active ingredient found in aspirin. People have chewed willow bark or brewed it into tea for headaches, joint pain, and fevers for thousands of years. Some people find the whole bark easier on the stomach than the pill, because the bark contains additional compounds that soften the effect. White willow trees grow along rivers and streams, and you can spot them by their long, narrow, silvery green leaves. The most widely used painkiller on Earth began as the bark of a tree that grows along waterways for free. We are halfway through, and every plant so far has been impressive. But what comes next takes things to another level entirely. Number 10. Wormwood. The name tells you what it does. This was the plant people used to get rid of intestinal worms and parasites. It has been used for that purpose for thousands of years. But the biggest story about wormwood happened in the 1970s when a Chinese scientist named Tu Youyou extracted a compound from it that turned out to be devastating against malaria. That discovery has saved millions of lives across Africa and Southeast Asia and won her the Nobel Prize. Wormwood grows as a silvery gray bushy plant with a strong smell. It is hardy, drought-tolerant, and easy to maintain in a garden bed. Number 9. Feverfew. If you or anyone you know suffers from migraines, this plant is worth knowing about. For centuries, people chewed a couple of fresh feverfew leaves at the first sign of a migraine, and it helped. Modern studies confirmed this. People who take feverfew regularly get fewer migraines, and the ones they do get tend to be less severe. It is a small, bushy plant with white daisy-like flowers that self-seeds and comes back every year. It is easy to grow in a pot or a garden bed, one of the most reliable natural options for anyone dealing with recurring headaches. Number 8. Elderberry. If you only grow one plant for immune support, make it an elder tree. The dark purple berries are packed with vitamins and compounds that help your body fight off colds and flu faster. A major review of clinical studies found that elderberry cut the length and severity of cold and flu symptoms significantly. One mature tree produces enough berries each autumn to keep a whole household supplied through winter. You can make syrups, teas, or tinctures from the berries. The tree itself is low maintenance and grows well in most gardens. Picture clusters of dark purple berries on reddish stems with flat-topped white flower clusters in spring. From European gardens, we head to the Amazon rainforest. What grows on the trees down there is something special. Number 7. Cat's claw. It is a thorny vine from the Peruvian Amazon. The Ashaninka people have used it for over 2,000 years. It gets its name from the curved thorns that look like cat claws. What it does is boost your immune system. It helps your body fight inflammation, and it increases your natural defenses. Researchers found that different parts of the vine have different strengths, which is why the Ashaninka prepared it differently depending on what they were treating. You can find cat's claw as a supplement or dried bark tea in most health shops today. Number 6. Milk thistle. This one is all about your liver. Your liver works non-stop, filtering everything that passes through your body. Milk thistle protects liver cells from damage and helps damaged liver tissue repair itself. It is so effective that hospitals in Germany and Austria actually use it to treat poisoning from death cap mushrooms, which are among the deadliest things you can accidentally eat. As a daily supplement, it supports your liver through the wear and tear of everyday life, medications, and environmental toxins. The plant has prickly leaves with white veins and purple flower heads. It grows in dry, sunny spots and looks after itself once established. Everything so far has been about the physical body, but our ancestors knew something we are only now remembering. Good health starts with good sleep. Number 5. Valerian. If you struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep, valerian root is one of the most proven natural options available. It works by supporting your brain's own calming system, the same system that modern sleeping pills target, but without the grogginess, the dependency, or the foggy head the next morning. Studies confirm it improves sleep quality with none of those side effects. During the Second World War, it was given to people in London during the Blitz to help with anxiety from the bombing raids. Valerian is a tall plant with clusters of small, pale pink flowers, and a root that has a very strong earthy smell. It grows well in most garden soils, and it comes back every year. Number 4, ashwagandha. If stress is something you deal with regularly, this is the plant to pay attention to. Ashwagandha has been the #1 recommended herb in Indian traditional medicine for over 3,000 years, specifically for helping the body handle stress. Modern studies found it lowers your main stress hormone by up to 28%. People who take it regularly report better sleep, sharper thinking, and more energy. It grows as a small shrub that likes warm, dry conditions, and you can grow it in a pot if your climate is cooler. One of the most thoroughly tested stress relief plants on the planet. The final 3 are in a league of their own. These are the plants that went head to head with modern pharmaceuticals and held their ground. Number 3, St. John's wort. This is the one we mentioned at the start. A major review of 29 clinical trials with over 5,000 people found that for mild to moderate depression, this plant worked just as well as prescription antidepressants with far fewer side effects. It is a small plant with bright yellow star-shaped flowers that grows in meadows and along roadsides. One important thing to know is that it can interact with other medications, so always check with your doctor before using it alongside anything else. But the core finding speaks for itself. A wildflower doing the same job that billion-dollar drugs were designed to do. Number 2, Echinacea. The native nations of the Great Plains, the Cheyenne, Lakota, Pawnee, and Comanche all independently built their medicine around this one plant. A major study published in The Lancet found it reduced the chances of catching a cold by 58% and shortened colds by up to 4 days. It boosts your body's natural immune defenses in multiple ways at once. Echinacea is a tough perennial with beautiful purple-pink cone-shaped flowers. It handles drought, comes back stronger every year, attracts bees and butterflies, and practically takes care of itself once you get it in the ground. And now, number 1. This plant is almost certainly growing near your home right now, and there is a very good chance you have been trying to kill it for years. Broadleaf plantain. Not the banana, the flat-leaved plant you see in pavement cracks, along driveways, and in every lawn. Most people call it a weed and poison it with weed killer. Most people have no idea what they are destroying. This plant has been used as medicine for over 4,000 years. The leaves fight infection, reduce swelling, and help wounds heal faster. They contain allantoin, the same healing compound we talked about earlier in comfrey, the plant they called knitbone. If you get stung by an insect or a bee, crush a fresh plantain leaf and press it on the sting. The pain usually starts to fade within minutes. It grows everywhere. It costs nothing. It needs nothing from you. And yet people poison it every spring and then drive to the chemist to buy cream for a bug bite that the plantain in their own garden could have treated for free. That is the gap between what our grandparents knew and what we have forgotten. Every plant on this list has been confirmed by published research. The people who used yarrow on wounds were right. The people who drank valerian for sleep were right. The people who trusted echinacea were right. And the people who reached for a simple plantain leaf were right all along. These plants are still here. Most of them grow in ordinary gardens. Several are probably near you right now, just waiting to be recognized instead of pulled up. If this changed how you see even one plant, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to keep learning about the plants that modern life forgot, make sure you are subscribed because we are only getting started.